Hello, UAE Grow Your Finances community.
Where we discuss how to make your money work for you as opposed to the other way around, and how best to grow your finances within the UAE. Here, we like to flip challenges around and create ideas, opportunities, and possibilities so that we can all succeed together, because there are enough seats for everyone at this table. Happy 2024, everyone.
Happy.
So, Russ, what is your take on 2024?
2024 is going to be a big one. 2023 was good. It was a very successful year. We had a baby. Well, had a baby just before the year started.
We actually had two babies, this podcast and our human baby.
Correct. So we had a beautiful baby, and this year has been very special. Last year has been very special. Spending some quality, beautiful time with him. And I couldn't be more grateful to have such a beautiful child. I don't know about you.
There are no words, honestly. If you're a parent, you know.
And if we start talking about it a bit too much, he will start to cry, guys.
It's also been a growing experience, and we've learned to really challenge ourselves and push ourselves to the limit, and that's filtered out into other aspects of our lives.
Absolutely. I mean, it was very, very tough the first few months, but I must say it's been a absolutely beautiful growing experience.
Yeah, and speaking about habits filtering into other areas of your life, 2024, we are going to try and get healthy and fit. That is one of our little goals for 2024. I don't really typically believe in resolutions, but I do like to use the opportunity of a new year, kind of like a new start, to shift your perspective and to put things into motion. So we are focusing on healthy habits this year, because if you've been listening to our podcast for a while, you know that we believe that health and wellness trickles through to finance. Your financial well-being contributes to your health and well-being overall, and vice versa. It works both ways. Health and wellness is a broad spectrum topic, and it's multifaceted, and all areas of your life are included in this. And so if you are practicing healthy habits and you're living from a healthy space, your mind is clear, you're physically stronger and more capable, you feel that motivation. I mean, the chemicals in your body are aligned, and you're able to get more done and be more productive and be more creative and all of it. So health and wellness is very important. And I personally have been lacking in that area in 2023. So since having a baby, obviously your body changes. So many things change when you have a baby. And we didn't expect it to be as challenging as it was, especially because we had a reflux baby. So we had a baby with quite bad colic, actually very bad. So it was very challenging. We didn't have much time, and we got into a little bit of a rut when it comes to eating. And I'm actually still breastfeeding. Our baby's 14 months now. I'm still breastfeeding. And I remember we were trialing nannies back in the day, and the nanny used to bring me food to eat when I was breastfeeding. And it would be this huge plate of food. She didn't cook it herself. We cooked it. So it was just simple chicken and rice. But it would be this massive pile of food. And I remember I used to laugh and say, oh my gosh, I can't eat all of this. And then I would find myself eating it all. And it felt good because I was breastfeeding and I was hungry, and I felt that I needed the substance and the strength and the energy. And that just kind of continued. I just continued to eat big portions. And I actually weighed myself yesterday at the chiropractor, and and this is the first time since before pregnancy that I've weighed myself, and I have gained 15 kgs, if you can believe it, since before pregnancy. 15 kgs, and I'm a small girl, so that's a lot of extra weight to be carrying around. So I decided this year, it's not about losing weight, it's not about getting into shape, it's not about that. It's about feeling healthy, feeling fresh, feeling free within my body, feeling motivated, feeling clear-minded and strong. And that is one of my goals. How about you? What's your take on this? Because we've been on this journey together.
Absolutely. I mean, I tend to use the excuse when Kim was pregnant that I'm basically also pregnant, so I can just eat what I want. It's because I'm having a baby. And yes, that turned into a bit of a rut when you talk about eating, when you talk about lifestyle. It came to a point where I was going to work, coming home, eating on the couch, watching TV, maybe going for a walk every now and again outside with the baby, playing with the baby every now and again. So it wasn't a great lifestyle. And I think that we have now started to make a turn to live a better lifestyle in terms of food, in terms of activities, in terms of just being ourselves again.
And how do you find it when your healthy eating is slacking a bit? How does it affect your mental state? How does it affect your productivity, your body, your mental talk, your confidence? Does it affect you in that way?
Well, I'll give you an example. So basically, I wake up 4:30 in the morning. So it's an early wake up. And I was waking up as soon as my alarm went off at 4:30. I got in the shower, got ready for work and went to work. When I started eating badly for a long period of time, I would wake up, I would snooze my alarm, I would go back to sleep, I would wake up at 5 o'clock. I would have to rush off to work. You know, it's not only about the fact that you like have to rush, rush, rush. It's also the fact that you can't really take your time in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
to really reflect about what you're going to do for the day, which I had before when I was eating better. So now just started eating a bit better than what we were eating before. A lot better, I would say. And the last 3 days, I've been jumping up at 4:30 in the morning, getting in the shower, and going to work. And it feels so much better.
And is your mind clearer? Because my mind is clearer and I just feel more like I have everything under control. You know, I've got this and I'm being kind to myself. I'm giving myself what I need. I'm giving myself that nourishment, and it encourages me to give that to myself in other areas of my life too, and make decisions for myself that I know are good for me and healthy for me. It starts that momentum, it gets you on a pattern of healthy habits all around. Do you find that it's the same way for you?
Absolutely. It gives me that drive, to create a better lifestyle for myself. And that better lifestyle is making me feel better in general, mentally, physically, emotionally as well.
Mm-hmm.
I must say that I'm happier when I'm eating better. I'm
Yeah.
also a lot more productive. A lot more productive. I can feel that now when I get to work, I'm able to just do this, do that, do this. Whereas when I was eating badly, it would be like oh, I have to do this, I have to do that.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's a big, big change, and I'm loving it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, and a lot of the world's biggest business people, we always say this, but we like to follow their examples. We like to follow the examples of people who are actually able to put into motion what they plan to do and succeed at it, because clearly they know something. They know a little secret formula or something. And you'll often look at successful people in business or in other areas, and they are conscious about this. They're conscious about staying active, eating well, and making healthy decisions and healthy habits. And there's actually a trend online. I think it's called the billionaire's routine or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, I didn't
So
know about that.
I've only seen it very briefly. And it's people, they post what a billionaire's like morning routine looks like or something. And I don't know how true it is, but I do think that there is some truth to getting into healthy habits all around, and that propels your motivation and inspiration and creativity and productivity. So, for 2024, one of my areas of focus is bringing health and wellness more into this podcast, because that is actually my passion and it is actually my area of expertise. We have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and it's very relevant to self actualization, let's say, and bettering yourself and mindset and the psychology side and all of that. That's all intertwined into health and wellness. And how have we started on this path in 2024? Well, it's not just chatter. We have actually made a structured plan to kick us off and get us started. And so we contacted a company. I just went on Google and I looked at healthy meal plans, and we contacted a company called vmeals. And they've agreed to work with us because they also believe in our philosophy of overall wellness, healthy mind, healthy life, healthy habits. And we've been lucky enough to test out their services. And we're going to bring you along on our journey. So we've been on it for almost a week now, I think.
I think just over a week.
Just over a week?
Yes.
Okay, and I have a lot to say on it because I've never done something like this. So we get a breakfast, lunch, dinner, a snack, and a juice every day. And a nutritionist actually calls you to start off with, and they ask you about your goals. They ask you in depth. They find out everything that you're looking to do. And so obviously I said I'm breastfeeding. I am 15 kilos heavier, and then you give like your health information, and if you get snacky during the day, if you have any blood sugar problems, etc., etc., etc. And then also what your preferences are in terms of food that you like and dislike. And if you want to do keto, you can do keto. If you're vegan, you can do a vegan plan, vegetarian, pescatarian. They have plans for all diets.
And obviously they cater for all allergens. So
Yes.
if you're allergic to wheat, if you're allergic to fish, you just inform them and they will structure the meals based on that.
Yes. So I said that I wanted gluten-free and dairy-free, and I'm actually not allergic, but I like to stay away from wheat because that affects your colon and the way that you absorb nutrients. Just so you know, all wheat does affect that. So that's why I'm on the gluten-free, dairy-free one, and I just feel better that way, I think. And it's been really interesting, but I'm going to reserve my comments because I want Ross to give his first about his experience. I want to hear from him first. So, what have you found stood out for you the most about the experience?
Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the financial side, and I'm
Interesting.
also going to be talking about the business side of things. So financially and business related, I would say time is money, and this saves a lot of time. A normal day for me would be to go to work, come home, cook maybe dinner or lunch for the next day.
Yes. Ross is our cook, by the way, because he can cook and I can't. I can bake, but he's a very good cook, and I hate cooking. I hate cleaning. We're not a typical traditional family in that regard. So, yes, continue.
Yes, I love to cook, and I think I'm pretty good at it as well. So, not to blow the smoke up my chimney.
I love your food.
However, it's literally saved me hours because I would come home and I would cook maybe an hour, 2 hours. I mean, the typical food we cook is South African stews, chicken, some sides, all sorts of things. And it takes time to cook. You know, it really does it. It consumes a lot of energy, a lot of time. And when you come home from work, do you really want to stand in front of a pan pot for like an hour and a half just to make sure that you have food for dinner as well as food for lunch the next day?
I think some people find it therapeutic. I certainly don't. And it's definitely not therapeutic when you don't have the time, when you're on a time crunch.
I think it's maybe for 5 days in a row to start off with, it's enjoyable, but then it just becomes, oh my God, like I need a break, I need to rest,
Yeah.
and I need my time. Obviously, I'm doing a lot of things all the time, business this, business that.
I also want to insert right here that you can choose to do the meal plan 5 days a week. So on your work days, you can do the meal plan, and then on your off days, you can enjoy cooking. If you do enjoy cooking, you can do it that way. You can also do 7 days a week. It's up to you. So it's very flexible that way. So if you do enjoy cooking, you can still cook, obviously, for your family without spending that extra money. And you just do it when you have the time.
Absolutely. And for me, I wake up in the morning, I get ready for work, and I leave. By the time I'm leaving, the two parcels are standing outside, literally ready for us to consume. It goes in the fridge, and I don't have to cook the whole day. You know, it's just unbelievable. The time saving is crazy, amazing, as well as the variety of food. Because normally, when you cook, you don't want to cook every single day. So, normally, what we do, we cook a stew that would last 2 days, or we cook maybe a chicken that would last 2 days, or something like that. But here, you get a different item every single day. So, it really makes your taste buds jump for joy.
And it's all packaged, so you can also take it along to work with you. It's very easily heatable in the packaging, so it's super convenient that way too.
Absolutely. And if you break up the prices, it's really, really inexpensive. If you think about what food costs nowadays, if you think about what takeaways cost nowadays for going out to eat costs nowadays, it's actually really reasonable for someone else to do all of your cooking for you and drop it off at your house.
And you have no wastage because usually you're buying all of the ingredients, and sometimes it actually costs more to make the same meal because you have to buy all of the ingredients, even if you just need a little bit of it, you know. So I must say, I've really enjoyed the variety too. I've really enjoyed having surprise meals every day and different meals every day, and I haven't gotten bored. Usually I get bored very easily with food, and sometimes Ross will be like, I'm making chicken, and I'm like, no, not chicken again. I can't eat chicken again. And you kind of get tired of your own flavoring and your own cooking. So it's really nice to try somebody else's. And I have to say, I'm very impressed with the flavors. I thought it would be like a little bit bland and boring because it's like diet food, you know. When you think about diet food, you think, oh, it's going to be a bit bland.
And it's made in bulk, so you think it's going to be like almost like airplane food because it's
Yeah.
made for probably thousands of people, I would guess.
However, I've been surprised by the flavors. It's
Me too.
been really delicious and tasty.
And I'm normally a big critique when it comes to food.
Yeah, he's a cooking snub.
Yes, however, I've really enjoyed it, and I must say it's as good as my cooking, and probably even better.
Well, they do actually have chefs preparing the meals. So they don't only have nutritionists, they also have chefs on board. So you have a professional team helping you out, which is what we believe in. Sourcing a team to help you out. You need extra hands. It takes a village, especially if you're a parent, especially if you're a working parent. And so having those extra hands on board from professionals who know what they're doing has been a dream come true, and you don't even have to pay celebrity costs. If I had endless amounts of money, I've always told Ross I would most certainly hire a chef and get them to cook me beautiful, tasty, healthy meals. But this is a close second at a fraction of the cost.
I would say it's first, to be honest, because
Really?
you don't have to have someone come in your house. You literally get dropped off the food and you can do what you want with it. You can eat it when you want it. And instead of having someone cook for you and they're like, okay, dinner's ready, you know, you have to go eat now, or having someone just around you the whole time, it's not that enjoyable.
That's true. Independence and freedom. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm also very happy that they balance the meals because I've been surprised at how I haven't gotten as hungry as usual. So usually I'm eating more, but I'm feeling more hungry and I'm feeling more snacky in the afternoon. I think a lot of people have this problem where you get like this afternoon dip, and after around 2 o'clock, I am looking everywhere for snacks. I just need snacks, especially sweet snacks. I'm like looking for dates. I'm looking for some dark chocolate. I want it. I haven't had that as much. And they give you a snack, so you can keep your snack for that time if you know yourself. So it's been, I'm going to say, easy to stick to because for the past few months, we have not had very good self control. It's gone out the window.
Absolutely.
So his face when he said absolutely, it was like utter shame. So this has been
scary, to be honest. It's traumatizing.
And it's also scary how quickly you can get into that habit
And how quickly you can put on weight. Because I myself have also put on, I think, around 10 kilograms.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I don't put on weight like
we
that.
don't like to shame ourselves for weight gain. I'm okay with it, but the health aspect to me is important. So that's another thing, is that it keeps you full because it's carefully planned to be filling, so that you get all the nutrients and you get that balanced blood sugar and you get all the food groups that you need in one meal to keep you full, which is fantastic.
It really, really is.
You can also choose if you want your goal to be fitness, weight loss, wellness, or muscle gain. I chose wellness. You also chose wellness.
I think so, yeah.
So whatever your goal is, they can cater to it. And they also do custom menus. So if you want to tweak the menu, you can. They send you like an example menu and you can give them feedback on what you prefer. So it's very curated and it's very attention to detail, which is like VIP, honestly. The other thing that's really good news is that it's available to anybody in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman, and Ras Al Khaimah. And you get a free follow-up nutrition consultant. So it's not only in the beginning that you get a nutritionist that speaks to you. you can follow up and talk to them again and let them know your progress, let them know your concerns, etc., etc. Ask them for feedback, ask them for advice.
So it just makes you feel taken care of by someone who is a professional in wellness.
Yeah. And the customer service is also very good. Plus, you can pause the meal plan anytime. So if you feel that it's not suited to you, as long as you let them know 48 hours before, you can pause it, you can stop it, you can cancel it. So they are very customer orientated and focused on pleasing you and serving you, which we love over here. So we're very happy to be supporting this local business. I think it's a fantastic business, fantastic concept, and it's serving the community just how we like it.
And we have something special for you. So guys, 2024 is the year I give back to all of our incredible group members and podcast listeners. We really, really, really want to bring more benefits to our group, to listening to us, to following us, to being members on our group. And this is the first time in 2024 that we are giving back.
Yeah, we want to improve your lives too.
So today we have something special for you. 20% off your meal plan with
vmeals.
So cool.
So all you have to do is go to their site, vmeals, that's a V for very good, meals.ae, and you use the promo code GYFVM20, so grow your finances, vmeals20, GYFVM20 at checkout for your 20% off.
How amazing is that? So if you want to improve your life in terms of what you eat, in terms of what you do, and in terms of saving a lot of time and energy, head over to their website, use the promo code, and take advantage of this incredible opportunity. 20% off any meal plan.
That's amazing. And it's already very well priced, I would say, for what you get. And their Instagram is also vmeals.ae. That's also their Instagram handle.
So it's pretty easy. And if you are struggling, let us know. Get in touch and we can put you in touch with the right people.
But don't forget to use that discount code. We honestly don't benefit from you using discount code. We don't get any commissions or anything.
No, but you do.
You benefit. So that's why we're doing this for you guys. So full transparency, we don't benefit from the discount code. We don't get any commissions. It's not affiliated. However, we want to give back to you guys as we give to ourselves this year, and we want to all succeed together because there are enough seats for everyone at this dinner table and breakfast table and lunch table and snacks table.
And honestly, we think that this company deserves a big shout out and a lot more business.
Amen to that. So to a healthy, happy, prosperous, and successful 2024. And let's not forget fun. So our guest today for this podcast is Quintin, who's actually a friend of ours.
The one and only.
He's an Amazon consultant, and we often see questions on the group with people who have a certain amount of money and they want to start a business, and they're asking what is the best business they can start on the side, like a side hustle. So they want to start a business, and it's not about investing or anything. They want to start an actual business. So if you're one of those people who have a certain amount of capital and you want to feel it out and start a business and you don't know what business to start, we would say go ahead and try an Amazon business, especially if you're looking at an online business, especially if you're looking at a passive business, more passive than the regular business.
Please don't do it on your own. We tried it on our own, and if you have a full-time job, it's close to impossible.
Yeah, and people might be wondering during this episode what happened to the second time around when we did use the consultant. In case you don't know, we were actually about to move to Qatar. So it was like within the week that we were moving to Qatar, Ross got a job in Dubai, and we stayed on the very last minute. We stayed in Dubai. So we had actually sold everything that we owned here and closed down everything here as well. So we closed down our business for that reason.
Plus, I had lost my job. If you guys don't know that, about a year and a half ago.
That's why we were moving.
That's why we were moving. But also we were having a baby. So I didn't have the job at the time. So we had to sell everything in the business.
Yeah, and we canceled the license and everything. But yeah. So that's the reason why we closed that down. But also now Ross is more interested in the investment side of things. And so he's not really into becoming a business owner so much. But I know that a lot of people in the group do want to feel it out. They do want to give it a try. Or maybe they have products that they want to sell online, and Amazon obviously is the best place to sell online. So if that's what you want to do, we got the guy for you. And so that is who our guest is today, Quintin, the Amazon consultant. He's also very entertaining. So he gives us a good laugh every single time we speak to him. He always comes up with something fresh and funny and fun. So, Russ, are you ready to make finance fun?
Absolutely.
In 3, 2, 1,
Fun. Welcome, Quintin. It's so good to have you here today. It's been a while. We have been speaking about this for a very, very long time. So, welcome to our podcast world. Tell us a little more about yourself.
Well, thank you, Ross. That's quite the intro that I need to keep up with. It's been beautiful. Everything's going well. It's a great entry to the year. It's like living the dream. We've grown since the time we started. I think you were one of the first or the first client that came on board. And since then, things just skyrocketed, I must say. We went larger in the areas of what we delivered. We went into warehousing. We went into a lot of transportation services as well for all our Amazon clients. I mean, there's a lot that I'd love to share with you.
Fantastic. So tell us, what is your company? What is it called? And most importantly, what is your position in this company?
So our company actually delivers service to all clients that want to venture out into the Amazon FBA business. An ideal client would be an existing brand that sells on Amazon or an existing brand that doesn't sell on Amazon, somebody who wants to sell on Amazon with products in hand or without products in hand. The company is called TAS. The abbreviation is actually for my mom, my wife, and my daughter, Tessie, Arlette, and Selena.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I have a son, Logan, but I can't call my company Last Consultants, can I now?
No, definitely not.
Or Salt Consultants doesn't sound that good. So he's been fighting for it. And what I do is I'm a small minion that tries to run around making things happen in the company. Yep, that's what I do.
And what he means by that is he is the founder and CEO, right?
Yes, the chief of everything or chief of nothing at all.
Amazing. Well, welcome today. As you guys know, if you have been listening to us, if you've been on our group for a long time, we always try find the new best thing. And normally when we join something, we always join in it at inception stages. So when I met Quintin, he was a small fish in a big pond. And now he's getting to a stage where he is a big fish in, I would say, a bigger pond.
Yes, trying to jump ponds here.
Amazon was also relatively new at the time, we have to remember. Amazon UAE,
Correct.
was relatively new at the time, correct?
Absolutely. When you guys joined in at that time, I think we were allowed even bigger spaces to send in goods into Amazon. And now it's a lot smaller. It's 300 units capacity as a new seller. When you came in, I think we picked up quite a number. I think it was 1,500 pieces. It was 5 times the size. Yep. So things have changed. We had to get smarter with things over here as well. That's when we joined forces with warehouses that could break down products that come in from China or whichever part of the world, repackage them for sending it into Amazon, because since we're bringing in bulk, we don't send in the bulk, we send in fewer items. So yeah, things kind of evolved from there.
Fantastic. And let's now break it down, because there are a lot of people that will be listening to this podcast today that have no clue when it comes to an Amazon business. So they just see an Amazon site that they buy things and it comes the next day and it's a fantastic service, but they don't see the background on how to run that business. So can you give us a brief in very simplistic words? what are the actual services you offer? Because you offer full service from A to Z.
Right.
So just to break it down for the listener.
All right. So what we do here is, to give it all to you in a nutshell, is right from assessing a product in the beginning, what we like to call product research, to see its performance. What we do is we look at as simple as a water bottle that you have right now, which is a 2-liter water bottle that you go through the day. We see whether that has demand over the next 1 week to a month. What we do next after that, if it's appealing enough, we start sourcing out suppliers. We start you off with the local market over here. I think the amazing wealth that the Dera market has in terms of wholesale is phenomenal, very close to the prices that you get in China. And in smaller quantities, you can buy as small as a dozen pieces or a carton. You don't have to go large. Test out the product. That's what we do. We bring it in, we see if it's got profitability, we negotiate on your behalf, we procure on your behalf, obviously with your money. But we have a force that goes into the market over here and is negotiating with China to bring in the products. We've signed up with trucking agencies that actually pick the product from the local market, bring it to the warehouses, break it down, we package it for you, we label it as per Amazon specifications, package it as per Amazon specifications, send it in. We've got photographers that do product photography, got keyword miners for building your listing, and then we've got our people who do the advertising, where we do PPC management. That's your pay-per-click. Yeah, that's about it. We manage actually also your inventory. When it's going out, we tell you exactly when do you need to procure. Bearing in mind, we don't go crazy on the warehousing space because we manage your costing there too. So we are your backbone to your Amazon store. Everything's done on your store.
I must say that when we were running our Amazon business with Quintin's service, we honestly didn't have to do anything.
Yeah,
It was
very passive.
We could be as involved as we wanted to. So if I woke up one day and says, Quintin, I want to do some work on my business, then I would say, can I do this? Can I do that? Whereas if I didn't want to do work on my business, or I have a full-time job that is extremely demanding, then it's hard for me to do, an hour a day on the business. Then Quintin and his team would run everything for you and have a weekly catch up just to update you on how you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. So a typical day, just to give you an overview on how things go, we look at the sales, very important for what closed the night before, which tells us how much we need to inform our clients that they need to buy. And that's not always a pleasant conversation, right? Because you've got some products that do well and some not so well. So we can't wait till everything sells out. But that's part of how we communicate with our customers on a daily, weekly, or monthly level.
Fantastic. And then what are your typical clients? Because I'm sure the average Joe doesn't really know that they can do this. We were an average Joe at one stage that we didn't know anything about this until I met you. Actually, we tried it on our own and we failed miserably.
Yes.
So we tried it on our own. We failed miserably.
You can't do it on your own when it comes to Amazon, because there's too much competition and there's too much to it behind the scenes, that doing it on your own, you are setting yourself up for failure. That's what we learned.
I think you can do it on your own. However, you're going to be throwing money at the wall and hoping that it sticks. That type of money could be thrown at a consultant that would do all of that drama for you, that has lived through opening so many different accounts, that they know the hiccups and then they make sure that you don't have those hiccups. So instead of throwing money at a wall and checking if it sticks, just go to someone that can make your life much easier when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Interesting that you mentioned that, because I have a similar equation like you guys. What I did was I brought in a product. It sold well. I said, okay, now I'm a big boy. I'm going to bring in a container and I'm going to try it out myself. So I did it and took it to Germany. And it was a small investment of $13,000. And 21 months, I did nothing with it. I tried to do videos myself. I did Google Translate for my listings. I tried to watch a few videos and do marketing, and it all failed for 21 months. And then I got in an agency and they were not cheap. But then I realized the advantage over there, and they sold out the container in about 3 months, total sales value of about 75,000 euros, but it went into paying back fees, storage, and the rest. But that's when I realized, okay, the value of an agency, and that's how we created the agency first in Germany. And this was in 2015.
Okay.
Correct. Because every single day, just like every business, I guess, or most businesses, every single day you're losing money. You got your products sitting in some storage, Amazon storage, or storage units in the UAE or in any other country. So every single day that you are losing money if you're not selling. So if you can get someone in that can fire up your sales from literally month one, then that's what you have to do. That's what you should be doing. Just a quick story on what happened to us. We brought in a few products. We didn't do too well. We didn't have the time to spend on the business.
We actually spent money on a course
Correct.
to learn how to do it properly.
That's how all of us do it, I think. And
Yeah.
that's how it started, yeah.
But it wasn't really very helpful.
It was a terrible
It
course.
was the most well-known course in Amazon, I would say.
Yeah, they had, I think, millions and millions of people who have subscribed to it. But at the end of the day, there wasn't enough customer support. Whereas if you have a consultant like Quintin and his team, you can literally just WhatsApp them, give them a call, and they can assist you with what problems you are having, which is much better to have.
Yeah, and also the course didn't really divulge everything because they obviously can't give all the information to the masses because then there's a problem. Then everybody is competing on the same level, you know?
Very true.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very true. So here's the thing with trying to do it by yourself. I can't be a photographer and a marketer at the same time. I cannot be a negotiator and a product hunter at the same time. I can't be all in one.
Yeah.
Even now, as we manage and grow the business, initially we were trying to do 2 and 3 tasks when we started here. It is a small market, which means it's a great opportunity. But as the business grew, now we had to bring in more specialists specific to areas.
Yeah.
And that's how the team, I think when we started, we were about 3 people. Now we are somewhere in the ballpark of 30 to 35.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. You have honestly come a far way. I mean, I didn't know it was this big. I didn't know your business was this big.
We didn't have a choice.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We didn't have a choice but to grow.
I mean, when I met you, how many years ago did I meet you?
3 years during COVID.
Yeah, so 3 years ago.
COVID event in Abu Dhabi.
Actually, the similar time when we met you, we started UAE Grow Your Finances.
Yes.
Because yesterday, UAE Grow Your Finances just turned 3 years old.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But also on another front, when we met you, you were as calm as you are today, but now you've literally times your business by what, 300% if you talk about productivity?
Yes. In productivity, 300%, I'd like to say.
very, very good. That's
Keeping it
amazing.
humble.
That's amazing. And so what type of clients do you have? So obviously you have the average Joe that finds you through networks and stuff like that. But what other clients do you have?
So we've got a good balance, and we try our level best to maintain that balance. So we can cater to all the businesses at its best capacity. It started with anybody and everybody who did not know Amazon, FBA services, and what to do with it then. And then we got a good mix of brands that wanted the back-end support just for marketing or product enhancement or listing. Then we had a few seasoned traders from the local markets that said, why don't you handle the entire thing for us, right from picking up the goods out of China, handling it here, bringing it down, warehousing it, repackaging it. So we've got a balance between the average person who is not aware. The challenges of all these are pretty diverse, but very interesting. Which the average person wants to know everything about everything that's going on in the initial phase. Trust me, I've been there myself. So I was also asking questions, thinking that knowledge is power and just knowing about everything is going to grow the business, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
And then we've got the business person who wants to just understand the bottom line. So just looking at the finance level, and that becomes pretty interesting because then we're talking about how we negotiate further if we buy bigger volumes, negotiate further to get it all in one consignment, or how do we move in and move out product out of the warehouse, keeping the warehouse size the same, the space occupied the same. Also when to kill a product that stopped performing and venture into a new product. For a brand, okay, how can they extend their brand further, their reach? How can they grow the portfolio with more products to the same brand or the same category? Things like that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's a business. So you can't do everything yourself. You need a team. At the end of the day,
Absolutely.
it's just like any other business. It's
Absolutely.
like any other business.
Let's talk about the onboarding process, because obviously, as new listeners that don't understand what the Amazon business is all about, can you tell us how you onboard your clients and what exactly are the steps that are involved in doing so?
Well, our onboarding process is quite meticulous, especially for new sellers. We tend to take the time to understand their unique business needs, goals, crafting a tailored strategy for each client. And the services span from product listing, optimization, inventory management, ad campaigns, customer support, ensuring a holistic approach to the store management. But again, when you guys had joined initially, it was very, very different. The budgets had to be a little larger in terms of the size of the space available then. Right now, even though the budgets are smaller, because of that reason, the rotation of the size and the capacity that's available, which is 300 units when you start off as a young seller, whether you're a big brand, whatever, doesn't really matter. If the size given to you is 300 unit space, for us to go in and out multiple times to showcase, because you are measured on a quarterly basis and then they increase the capacity for you. The more you sell, the better it is for Amazon. So ideally, it wouldn't be the case that they would like to hold your products in there as a warehousing unit. They want you to sell, right? Because of improvements in the last round of measurables for opening up size, I'll just give you an example here. It was a young seller with, again, 300 unit capacity. And suddenly we had space go up 1,500. Now 1,500, we can go in weekly with 1,500 units. That gives us 6,000 in sales in terms of units.
Oh, wow.
Suddenly the budget has also
Correct.
300x or 500x,
Yeah.
Now, if that's the case, we want to understand during the onboarding process that the customer has the bandwidth to go that extra mile. If it's a small seller wants to just try and test it out, we say, you know what, we can help you set up your store, but the rest is on your own, because you don't need an agency to help you if you just want to do one or two products. It's
Correct.
we're
It doesn't make sense.
not at all.
Yeah, because you are trying to boost businesses,
Right.
Amazon businesses. So you're not going to take on a client that is wanting to only sell 2-3 products and take the business big over the next 50 years. You
No.
want to take people's businesses over 1 to 2 years to
True.
a big sized
Right.
business. So
Right.
so that's also something that the listeners need to understand, because Amazon running a business is a business, and it's not going to be something that you're going to pay Quintin his monthly fee, walk away and be happy and make tons of money from it. No, you need to be able to have the capital to put into the business, because it's a business at the end of the day.
Don't limit yourself.
Correct.
Absolutely.
When you start a business, you want to grow it as big as you possibly can. So why would you limit yourself?
But you need to have a budget, not a massive budget. I would say you need to have a good
Monthly
size,
budget, yeah.
good size budget to be able to take on a few products, a few SKUs, and multiple units. It doesn't make sense to put in 5 products into your store and then sell it and put in more 5 products into the store, because their fees, their storage unit charges, there's a lot
Like
of different
any
things.
business, it
So,
works.
exactly.
Yeah, so you cannot expect to just put a little in, because then you will not get the maximum benefit out. Just like any business, it works the same way.
100%. Let's go on to optimization, because this is something that is so important when it comes to Amazon. There are so many fish in the sea, so the competition is rough, it's tough, it's difficult, and it's basically any average Joe, any person can open up a business, on Amazon. Obviously, you need all of your licenses and stuff like that, but that means it opens it up to everyone literally in the country and outside the country. So you need to really be able to optimize your listings. So let's talk more into detail about this, but obviously in as simple terms as possible for the listener.
Okay, then relatability to that one, and you made the word tough sound really easy. I'll give you something that I did on one of my brands in Germany, and it was actually a baby walker, a wooden baby walker. Now, optimization is not just about listing, it's also the physical product, right, that we work with you on. I had a manufacturer and I was trying to be cheap, and said, okay, fine, let me select a cheaper wood, and the paint just didn't stick on as much. So when it was time for sales, I was selling well, and I was bringing it in for about $10 to $14, and it was selling at about $100 20 euros or something like that.
Wow.
And I was pretty excited. And then it's sold pretty well. But then the kind of reviews and the pictures with it scared the living hell out of me, to be honest with you, in layman's term. Now, I had grandmother's rights saying you spoiled my grandchild's memory. It was a birthday, and the screws were not sticking on, and things like that. The paint was chipping. There were splinters coming out and stuff like that. So it's just not about the listing by itself. You can do wonders with editing today with the tools that are available on a photograph, or create great listings using AI tools.
And it happens so often on Amazon, actually. When you order something, you have to return it because it's just not as it seems on the listing.
Absolutely right. And that's where we come in also, again, so to reduce those returns, because now when you get returns, even if the product is still sellable, let's say you've had an excited client that ripped into the packaging, your cost increases by getting more packaging, right? So we want the customer not to return the product. So this is where we talk about optimization. We ensure the entire experiencing of unboxing the product, getting the right kind of touch and feel on the product, the inside packaging and all. That's where we work with you on.
Amazing. And at the end of the day, this is what you need a professional to take your business to the next level in terms of Amazon, because it sounds pretty simple from the outside, but there are so many steps that you need to take in the inside to actually run a profitable and a very good Amazon business. And let's talk about the marketing side, because like I said, there's so many fish in the sea. How do you stay ahead in terms of getting that cost per click as low as possible when you look at the marketing budgets on Amazon?
Great question. We are in a small populated country in terms of comparison of the Amazon world in the US and here, right? So if you look at something, just to see for every listener out there, if you look at something called SimilarWeb, you'll be able to see last month's visitors on Amazon.com and last month's visitors on Amazon AE. You'll see the difference. There's 2.4 billion visitors last month in the US. And over here, we've got about 21 million. So in terms of cost per click, I wouldn't really worry about in this part of the world. But yes, you can still go crazy and trying to advertise just to be out there. And if your product is not that great, then you're just going to continue advertising and you'll have plenty of returns. So you're throwing money out the window, right? You want to do it hand in glove. You want to see whether you're selling well alongside, it's reaching the right kind of audience, the advertising, and you want to optimize on that. We've got specialists who are actually certified. Now we require them to be taking on the Amazon certifications as well, that Amazon Seller University does provide. So that's the beauty of it. And they're always updating their systems and their algorithms, and we have to stay ahead of the game, right? So including myself, I take it just to the certification, just to converse with the marketing team. Otherwise, it'll just bounce off my head.
Amazing. So everyone from top to bottom in your company is actually taken on board all of these training and tools. And for the average Joe that works a full-time job, it's very difficult to get these type of certifications because you don't have the time in the day to do so. Now let's talk about inventory management. We touched on it briefly earlier, but for those that don't understand the Amazon business, what is it all about? Because I know it comes at a shock for some new sellers when we talk about the inventory storage units, how many you can have in the Amazon storage unit. Are you working on a way where you can store the units yourself?
Yes. From the last time that you had seen us collect products in the back of our car over here, now we've got trucks going in and doing those things. We've teamed up with a lot of warehouses around the city, right from DIP, Al Quoz, and even Umramul. We store goods depending on where we are picking them up from, and as convenient to go into the Amazon warehouses. But you've also met some of the team. One of them is the beast of the wholesale bazaar, like I like to call it, which is Anita. And now she hired on another person who's the werewolf of the warehousing community over here. So Arnold basically oversees the warehousing, keeping costs down. We've got teams who come in from backgrounds of e-commerce inventory management to handle this, because obviously this was not our expertise initially over here. Now, since we've got small products coming in and the turnaround time is that quick, we maintain a low consumption of any warehouse possible, right? That also keeps the cost down. But warehousing over here is not just about storage. I think the pick and packing fee here is incredibly high sometimes. So there were generous warehouses, I think, around also that support the average seller too. So we've had prices of pick and pack services in the ballpark of 15 to 45 dirhams sometimes. And you can't do that, right? On a phone cover, for example.
Yeah,
It takes the
exactly.
price through the roof. And then we've come down and got people who do it anywhere between 2.5 to 5 dirham. So warehousing has got a lot to do with the pick and packing fee for every product that goes into the Amazon FBA. And that's where we come in and actually kind of keep the costs low. That's the biggest challenge we have.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the Amazon business, especially because it's a relatively new, a few years or in the UAE, costs are high. Amazon has massive warehouses and, they have a lot of business costs in the country. And for them to be able to recoup those costs and to make profit in the country, when they are still small, they will be charging it to the normal seller, That's probably why it's a lot higher here than it is in the US, I would say.
Yes, also the fulfillment services do larger volumes over there as compared to over here. But the costs involved mainly that before it goes up for sale, we need to manage to keep them at the lowest to give the customer the biggest profitability, right, on their product. So like we say, the last one that leaves the warehouse is the most expensive piece because it's taken 2 months to actually get into somebody's hands.
True.
So it's taken 2 months of storage fees and then the pick and pack fees in the local warehouse and then the Amazon referral fee and the other costs involved to it, right? So the last piece that leaves generally is the one that's most expensive.
What about customer support? So Amazon, I know when you give them a call, most of the time you don't get through to them. It's very difficult to get through to them. How does your agency help in this manner?
You have experienced it firsthand, Ross, on your lovely baby blanket that we had launched, and Amazon had a glitch with the first time taking it as a safety helmet for babies that walk around the house and get hit on their head.
Yes, I remember that. That was the good old days.
6 months to ungate and unblock. There are these things that happen and we go at it until we actually ungate and open up the store properly. So we kept you informed like any other customer. We would keep them informed. We have a recent challenge that a supplier was not given the rights to distribute the product and we bought the product from them, and now out of 7 stores, we have 2 that are blocked. We've ungated 5 of them. Now there are still 2 that are blocked. And we are hoping that these 2 get opened up in the next week or so.
Amazing. So you guys are able to ungate these products. I mean, for those that don't understand what ungate means, basically Amazon has put them on hold. They cannot be sold on the platform.
True.
And it's due to the fact that sometimes there are rules that are broken with that type of product, or Amazon don't understand the product that you've put out for sale based on the listing.
Absolutely. It requires a bit of clarity. So I'll give you another first-hand example. Again, we spoke of a baby walk a little while ago. There was a size difference. So the minute somebody measured it and wrote a comment at the back end, not a review, saying the product was not as mentioned on the listing, my product got blocked. And all I had to do was go back in and fix it. So Amazon is very protective of its customer, which is a very good thing. That's why we enjoy buying out of Amazon, right? And I think it's a very healthy approach. So keeping your listings clean and true to its complete authenticity is absolutely important here for every seller.
Absolutely. And then let's talk about competition again. So how do you do your competition analysis? And based on that analysis, how do you make sure that you stay ahead of that competition?
So we advise the clients right in the beginning. We all want to do mobile accessories, right? I mean, we all love a new cover or a new phone or the latest gadgets. This is how it operates over here, right? Again, it's dependent on the bandwidth that the customer has. We've had a client who came in the beginning and he wanted to do a packaged product. And this was with a wireless charger, a phone stand, and a phone cable with 3 extensions. Now, he said, money is no object, like you love to hear. and we marketed it for him. And in the marketing platform, you have the option after you place the amount that you want to place as a minimum per click, you can go up to 900%. So we did 10 dirhams to still keep it a bit humble. But in spite of the 900%, and it was 90 dirhams on each click, we were right at the bottom of the first page, which actually doesn't make sense because you're not getting profitability on the product. That 90 is just going to go out the window on any unit that's sold. You need to scale it slowly, but we do advise to do it on products, especially for new sellers. Do not get into something really aggressive because that's going to help you bleed a bit too fast. So take something that will teach you a bit how to market, is lower budget, but just as intense in terms of the knowledge that you'd gather, and will help you grow in other categories. Select categories that is more sustainable and doesn't have a trend to it. Household is perfect. Toiletries is perfect. Kitchen equipment and products like that is perfect. It's sustainable. It's year round. So it's worth getting into and marketing. Even if there's a good amount of competition there, that states that there is demand if there's competition. So that's always healthy.
Fantastic. So let's talk about some success stories. I love stories, as everyone that has been listening to the podcast for a few months now knows. I love success stories, especially when it comes to business and making money. I'm sure you also know that I love success stories and making money. So
absolutely.
So let's talk about that. I mean, some of your clients, I'm sure, have had crazy success. Let's talk about that.
A success story does start with an eventful beginning, right? And there have been times, so I'll mix a few clients here, where we've had clients come in thinking that they've watched videos on YouTube and think they're going to get rich overnight. And we tell them right in the beginning that this is a journey. This is not going to happen overnight. And that kind of, you look at their expression on their face, they get a bit demotivated at that moment. But the thing is, we don't want to take on a customer because it's an effort. We've got about 5 to 8 people at any given point in time on your dashboard at the back end operating it, right? So when we let them know that, some of them who are hesitant back away, but that's good for us because we don't want to take them 2 months down the line and then, they decide, no, that's not for us. And then the ones who stick on and understand the problems, like, for example, we spoke about your lovely blanket and the helmet. There have been multiple clients between here and Europe as well that we've had that had those challenges, overcame those challenges, and understand it from a small level. When your account gets blocked, when you're selling 200 pieces or something like that, and when you have a container load of items waiting in a warehouse, well, we've got stores that started in 5 digits in the first year, took off to the second phase wherein they've done 6 digits in 1.5, and then on to 7 digits. And then you should just see the thrill on their face, because when you talk to them and have a laugh about it, saying, you remember your first month, you really were aggressive about these areas and the tone you held. And I like sticking it, not in a bad way to them, but just have a good laugh about it and say, now you see where we're at.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have that conversation with them.
I'm sure you had some people that were a pain in the ass, like myself.
You were easy. You were relatively easy.
That are just watching their sales day by day and saying, Quintin, why didn't I not make sales today where it was the first week of opening their account to a stage a year later where they are making 6 figures? It must be quite a different attitude coming from those clients, right?
Yeah, that time they're not as much on the sales as much as how fast is the inventory coming in. Just to give you a story here, simple, even myself included, when I was doing it myself, my own products that would come in and sell out, the agency did it in about 20 days sellout, and it would take about 3 to 6 months to get in stock again, from manufacturing. And that's the challenge, the new challenge that you face. It's no more about the sales. It's about, okay, there's a container coming in. Why haven't we flushed out the container that's already in the warehouse? Or, we don't have products fast enough.
Yeah.
So there's newer challenges that come on as you grow, and it gets very interesting, how to solve it. So it's never a dull day, let's put it like this.
As you heard Quintin say, it's not only hiccups in the beginning. So it's not like you need a consultancy to come on for a month, 2 months, 6 months, and then you should be up and running. No, there are hiccups every corner. And that's just the thing about running a business and any business. There's always hiccups around the corner. And the bigger you get, the bigger the hiccups get.
Right.
And the more nerve-wracking they get.
Right.
So yeah, that's why it's so important important to have a consultancy to run your business for you so that you don't have to handle those hiccups by yourself. Because if you don't have the background, it's very difficult to get around them.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about technology, because technology in today's age is so important. You got AI and you got all of these different apps that you need to run a certain business, to do this, to do that. So let's talk about technology in your business. So how do you use technology to automate the different systems, and how do you get it to help businesses grow?
Ross, let me just tell you one thing there. With new sellers that come on and have read this thing around, they think it's interesting and they want to do it right from the get-go. But some of these can be expensive, and if you don't have the bandwidth to scale initially and you're a small store, don't worry about it. Yes, for the most seasoned seller, there are tools. Just to give you an example of one of them, we manage marketing based on day parting. What I mean by this is knowing a trend of the product and what people search for, and we increase ads during that time. So what I like to call it here is, and we've noticed this, many products get put into the cart during toilet reading, I like to call it. Anywhere between 4 and 7 o'clock in the morning, they get added to cart. And we notice that it's not purchased. The credit card hasn't gone against. And in fact, you used to ask, Quintin, why isn't it converted? It's there in the cart. It's still pending.
You see it gray. You see it gray. Why hasn't it gone through?
And it goes through only after they've reached home from their metro travel or their work and stuff like that, only after 10 o'clock in the night. So we tend to divide the marketing between that time, and we just don't keep it open. And this is mainly for those aggressive sellers. These sorts of tools are really helpful. And yes, we do use them. This is just one of them. There are multiple AI tools that is there for listings and optimization, picture editing, and that's just a few to mention. But I think in terms of marketing and getting your product out there, day parting is one that we are relying on a daily basis or an hourly basis, I'd like to say.
Fantastic. And your company, I'm sure, has every single app out there that can help optimize and help run their business the most efficient way possible.
I'd like to say yes, we use the ones that support all these various kind of businesses that we handle, yes.
See, and on another stage, we need to also mention it that these applications, these systems, and all of these technology-based apps and stuff like that all cost money. So if you're going to try to do it on your own, you're going to need to take these apps on your own, and you're going to need to pay for these on a monthly basis. Whereas all of this comes within the rate of Quintin's consultancy fee. And I'm sure because he does bulk accounts, because he deals with people all over the world, this is going to be a lot more cost effective to run it through a consultancy than doing it on your own.
Absolutely. And it's not only about the money, which you're right about. It can get expensive as a new seller, but it's also about the time that you invest in setting up these systems and constantly monitoring it, because you need to optimize these systems. It's only going to work for you as much as you work for it. Right?
Correct.
So we've got a person for every little system or multiple systems that's only doing that.
Amazing. So guys, that was Quintin on our podcast talking about his company, which is taking over the Amazon world. And we are super excited to bring you an exclusive offer. For those that are on our group, you have seen the offer. For those that are listening for the first time, this is an exclusive offer only given to our group members. And what is it, Quintin?
It is the first month for free. We work for you for nothing at all.
That is amazing. So at the end of the day, this is going to come in handy because the first month is all about setting up accounts, business licenses, all of that stuff. So you're not exactly making money on that first month. So at least Quintin will bear the costs to get everything set up for you for absolutely free.
Remember, we make money when you make money.
Exactly. Quintin is here to make you guys money. And if you're interested in signing up to an Amazon business, Quintin, where can they find you? Give us your social media presence.
Well, we're there at tasconsultantsfze.com. We've got an Instagram handle at TAS Consultants as well. And Facebook, we'd obviously be sharing this link there as well.
If you want to get in touch with us, to be put in touch with Quintin, we can do so as well. If you do go through any of his social media platforms, which we will put down below, then please mention UAE GYF in order to get that first month absolutely free. So Quintin, thank you very much for spending the time with us today. And we look forward to helping people grow their Amazon businesses to the next level.
Thank you so much. It was lovely being here.
So guys, that was Quintin, Mr. Quintin. And we have had a great time today. I mean, we haven't seen Quintin for quite some time. So it's great to catch up with an old friend. And
congratulations to him, I want to say, because he's done so well.
He really has. And he deserves it. I mean, he works literally 24/7. Whenever I message Quintin, he replies within a second.
Yeah, he's up all night.
And that was the same when he was running our Amazon business. So that's the great thing. You have people on call every second of the way. So let us know if you would like to be put in touch with Quintin, or just contact him directly. But make sure you mention the promo code UAE GYF to get your first month absolutely free.
Which is honestly incredible.
It
a
really
month
is.
Free to get you started. Have you ever heard of such a thing in starting a business?
Never, because that first month you normally don't make any money. So it's great to have someone given back to you during that time.
Talk about a kickstart. And so we've given back to you twice in this episode now. How exciting in terms of health. So don't forget to go to vmeals.ae and use GYFVM 20 at checkout for 20% off. And don't forget, if you're looking to start an online Amazon business, contact Quintin, get your 1 month free, let him know that you're coming from us, UAE GYF, and enjoy. Wishing you guys a prosperous, happy, healthy, rejuvenating 2024, filled with peace, ease, and vitality.
Absolutely. And don't forget to do all those beautiful things, like our episode, download the episode,
follow us on Instagram,
and make sure that you pay yourself first, because you are worth it.